And zoom back in for another rivalry game. Iowa at Iowa State. Battle for the Cy-Hawk Trophy. It's the 72nd time these two meet up and go at it. Last year was an amazing game, settled by a field goal to make it a 1-point difference, 20-19 there in Iowa City. The Cyclones getting a big road win. Last week, Iowa played Albany, won 34-7 in Kurt Ferentz's the longest tenured head coach in college football at the moment. He started back in 1999. And then Matt Campbell on the other sideline got his second win of the season, winning 55-7 against South Dakota, and obviously opening up week 0 in Dublin, Ireland, 24-21 over Kansas State. The points that is total so far in the predictions, at least from the lines I'm seeing, 41.5 points. Last year, I mean, a couple points away from that. So it kind of makes sense of why it's going to be a low scoring game. I would say it's probably going to be in and around that, to be honest with you, because again, man, this is just going to be another low scoring game. This kind of always been a low scoring game. It's just, Iowa doesn't score a lot of points. They didn't score a lot of points last week against Albany, but we kind of expected that because they're kind of slow pace. On top of that, they got a new quarterback, Gronkowski, however you say the freshman's last name. And then on top of that, they kind of struggled in the beginning. They were actually down for a second against Albany, but then they obviously charged back and then took it over, especially after the second half. For Iowa State, it was like 7-7 back and forth, and then it was all Rocco Beck just having his way against South Dakota there. But you guys, is the Hawkeyes run game going to be enough here? Only had 48 yards passing last week against Albany. 53 attempts on the ground for 310 yards. As the number 12 offensive line here at your Sports Outpost comes to Ames. They are going to be, if for some reason Iowa wins, they will be the sole reason why. Maybe obviously the defense slowing down Rocco Beck, but this offense making holes, moving bodies. They definitely did not get it done last year. There's a big highlight that you saw in the stream opener of Dominic Orange, the defensive lineman for Iowa State, getting that big goal line stop to only allowing a field goal to be kicked there. And that might be also the difference of why maybe Iowa doesn't do it again and getting a win and reclaiming the Cy-Hawk Trophy, is that in goal line scenarios, I mean, also when you think about it too, Iowa State isn't so good there as well. But in those goal line scenarios, they really got to punch it in. And for their new quarterback, Mark Gronkowski, doesn't really look promising at the moment. He's a very young quarterback, just got his first start last week. But only having 48 yards through the air, like if he's going to have the same amount of stats this week, it's going to have to be like on like certain drives, certain downs. If they get into third and long scenarios, then the Hawkeyes don't have a chance in this one. Even though we think, again, it's going to be a close game, -3.5 in favor for the home team in Iowa State. Iowa's defense, I think, will get after Rocco Beck. The Cyclones gave up 4 sacks against Kansas State, none last week. But Iowa State should have a defensive front that should get into the backfield and get to the Cyclone quarterback. But when we also look at it, Rocco Beck doesn't really need a crazy stat line to win. He only threw for like 100 or less than 150 yards, if I'm not mistaken, against Kansas State in that win on the road. And then on top of that, the run game really just needs to get over 100 yards. That's kind of the crazy part. It's like Iowa State doesn't need to have a bunch of yards to win games. They're kind of very similar to Illinois in what they do on offense as well. It's kind of just strategically moving and kind of placing those chessboard pieces of field position. For for this Matt Campbell team in general. Like they don't need to do anything crazy here, but also their opponents, they try to not do anything crazy. So that is kind of the yin and yang between these two programs. But we think Iowa State is going to pull this game off. It is a 3-point difference. We think it's going to be 2 in favor of the Cyclones, is how many points they're going to win by. And then, Rocco Beck, I think, again, leads this team to a big victory at home against the Cyclone, against the Hawkeyes, sorry. And the state of Iowa will be Cardinal red for the Cyclones again. I think the mismatches that Rocco Beck will find with his tight ends in Gabe Burkell and Ben Brahmer, I think that'll be the difference, especially in the red zone. Those two guys going to be very lethal. But also, they got to get to the red zone. They got to have long sustaining drives enough to get enough points. If Iowa State can get more than 25, then Iowa doesn't have a chance here. But they do have a new running back, Xavier Williams. He looks pretty solid in his debut against Albany. He's definitely going to have a big game and contributing more than 250 yards for sure if Iowa wants to win this on the road in Ames.